Chuck doesn't think he's going to make it. But yeah, Tony said he would be here. I talked to him yesterday.
Nope.
Felt bad I wasn't walking.
Okay, as the rest of our quorum gets situated, let's call to order today's installment of the Downtown Design Review Committee. I have 9:32. So per usual, let's start with roll call.
Nathaniel Harding,
Present.
Anthony Black,
Here.
Charles Ainsworth, Corey Bates, Julie Kriegel, Deborah Richards. You have a quorum.
Okay, so next item is approval of minutes. You've all been supplied with the minutes in advance. Give you a moment to review. Also entertain a motion to approve.
I move to accept the minutes.
That's the Kriegel-Bates motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Minutes are approved. Cases withdrawn, I show none. Continuous requests, also none. So consent docket, you see the item presented there. Is there a presentation for this, or can we move ahead with the motion? Okay. Yeah.
I'll move to approve the consent docket.
That's a Blatt-Bates motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. That is approved. Number 6, cases for individual consideration. We have item DTCA 1800111. This is for landscaping. And Laura, do you have some information to provide to us, or is the applicant here to make some?
The applicant's here. They're here to answer questions. The first thing I wanted to do is, you might have noticed we had some really fantastic pictures that we don't normally have this quality, and that's because we have a really great intern, Cameron Conyers, that I wanted to introduce. And he has a drone. And I got to go out. I'd never been around a drone, and it was really kind of cool. And we also are doing this for Scenic River, so I ended up with some cool views for Scenic River as well. And Appreciate the fact that he has good toys, and so we can get these great pictures. So thank you, Cameron, appreciate that. So the boulevard's almost done. We're all waiting for that to happen. And so one of the last things that they needed to get done, as I explained in the staff report, the state is doing some of the work, such as sidewalks and lighting. And so the state does not have to get approval from us, so that's not part of what we're looking at today. So Public Works Department submitted this application. So we're looking at landscaping, which includes street trees. It does not include any boulevards. So we literally do from the curb, we call it inward, toward the buildings, and we don't do curb to curb. And so I just kind of wanted to make sure you're aware of that. And this is my favorite shot of all, and we'll just... staff has provided you the drawings. I'm sorry, the way they turned out, the background kind of didn't come through, but you can see where all the other streets are. So we're looking at what's going on here on the edges with the landscaping. And staff is recommending approval, and we're excited for this project to get finished. There's a small piece of it that's going up E.K. Gaylord when we get down to the railroad tracks. So what we're looking at here literally is from Classen to E.K. Gaylord or the elevated railroad tracks. And then in Scenic River next month, we're going to be doing from the elevated railroad to just west of the Bricktown Canal. So staff is presenting this, recommending approval, and as I said, the landscape architect as well as representative from the Public Works Department is here if you have any questions.
Okay, would the applicant like to provide any more information?
This is Michael Clark from the Public Works Department.
Good morning. Thank you
Morning.
all for considering this. As Laura said, the road construction is provided by ODOT. It will mimic the Project 180 style amenity zone and sidewalk that's been implemented throughout the Central Business District. A 7.5-foot amenity zone, which includes pavers, street lights, trees, ground cover, and irrigation and underdrain will be created. And then an ADA-compliant sidewalk of natural concrete extends from that amenity zone back to the right-of-way line. ODOT is creating the hardscape in the amenity zone, including the street lights and then the sidewalk. The city comes back in and installs irrigation, trees, and ground cover, after ODOT has turned the work over to the city. The 22-foot tree spacing from Project 180 is carried forward down into this area, with the exception of the 2 blocks between Hudson and Robinson. There, the tree spacing has been widened to 30 feet to match the park spacing on the south side of the road. Golden colonnade ginkgo trees are featured at each end of the block, flanking a run of high beam overcup oaks. Again, there is an exception on the blocks between Hudson and Robinson, where exclamation London planes are being used to match the trees used in the park. So with that, I would certainly try to answer any questions that you have.
Is there a process set up for maintenance that's going to be able to keep it looking the way that it starts for a long period of time?
I think the expectation is that this will be a Parks Department maintenance, Tony, and they have been involved in review prior to preliminary report and then review of plans prior to going out to bid. So I think that there have been some concessions, maybe mow strips in places and different types of ground cover under trees where, shading might, shade out grass, that sort of thing. So I think it's been designed with that in mind.
And the other question that I had, and it might be more for Mr. Howard, is that variety of ginkgo a better performing than some of the other varieties that we have locally that seem to kind of stop and not progress and really become well developed?
We actually are looking at some other cultivars and possibly other species of trees just to limited availability of that particular tree. It is very popular, and they're used extensively East Coast and Midwestern U.S. as street trees. They're excellent street trees, but they are very slow growing. We wanted to do something that highlighted the boulevard a little bit differently from 180. I mean, just a very slight deviation where at the intersection corners we have paired trees at each end of this block. That would be a different species from our primary species along the boulevard. But we are looking at potentially another species if those are not available.
That answers my question. Thank you.
Well, and Tony, I don't want to bore you guys, but I do think it's interesting. You know, Project 180, I think, has installed 1,200, 1,300 trees, you know, over the last 8, 9 years. The park is installing, I believe, about 1,000 trees. There's a project about to move forward where about 1,000 trees will be installed along the river. There was concern about just sheer availability of trees. So the city's procurement department has helped us. We've recently done a bid. I think we requested about 996 trees. We have found sources for those on January 2nd that will go back to council to award. The ginkgo tree actually was the only variety that we did not find in that process. We're going to look at alternate selections and potentially move that into the construction contract, but we were able to find all the other varieties there.
Any other questions? Thank you both. Any discussion?
I'll move to approve the application on the basis that it complies with the regulations and guidelines of the downtown design zoning ordinance as referenced in Section C of the staff report.
I'll second.
And that's a Bates Richards motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no.
Thank
So
you.
that is approved as well. Thank you. So I have no other business on number 7. 8 is communications items. Anything we need to be aware of from a staff perspective? Okay.
Other than you can see it's been a busy month.
It has. Comments from committee members?
We have a meeting next month. I just wanted to say that.
Okay. January 17th.
So if you all can check your calendars and make sure your availability, since we still only have 6 of you, we're still one down, and we will soon be another man down. So if you could check your calendars and ink it on that day.
Okay.
Great. Corey, okay. And Deborah, good.
I'll be here.
Okay. It looks like we'll have a quorum. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And also, we have our commissioner training on January 25th. It's a Friday. I believe everybody received a save the date. And we'll be releasing a more detailed agenda right after the first of the year. So plan to attend, except for Nathaniel.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We are adjourned.